Events. Today's session will be with EPCC Culinary Arts presented by Chef Diaz and Chef Gutierrez. This session will be recorded so that you may come back to it later if you need, and so others who may have missed out on today's events will be able to come and watch it. Thank you. So now, at this time, please mute your mics for the best sound experience, otherwise the feedback could interfere with information we will be sharing today. Without further ado, here are our presenters.
Hi, Chef Diaz.
Hello. Welcome, everybody. How are we doing? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
We can hear you. We do not see you.
You don't see me.
No, sir.
All right. I think we should have it now.
Yes, sir. We see you nice and clear.
All right. Welcome. I have Chef Nickerson with me. We're going to be executing this demo. Chef Guerra is, not everybody knows, he is now the dean of Valle Verde campus, but he's still with us in spirit. Unless he joined in, I'm not sure if he did. He said he might be able to if he gets a chance. He is a busy man. So if you're out there, Chef, this demo is for you and, of course, everyone else. All right, guys, welcome. My name is Chef Diaz. Of course, I love doing demos for you guys. I do a lot of healthy cooking demos once a month. This one, I'm going to have to say, this one today excites me like you wouldn't believe. Why? When I show you what we have as a protein, it's a petite little sirloin steak that we have for you. Okay, I'm not going to lie. It's a 4.5 pound bone-in ribeye. Yes, 4.5 pounds bone-in ribeye that I have for you. It is the sous vide right now. I'm going to explain all that in a little bit. On those chats, let me know if they have questions too, Chef Nickerson. Thank you, man. So let's go ahead and get started. What I'm going to jump into first are our sides. But before we get into that, we obviously have to talk about, because we're culinarians, right? And of course, you want to, make sure our cooking, our prep stations, everything is, safety and sanitation is our number one. That's what we teach you in the program. Our number one class that you have to get into. You can't just start cooking. You need to know how to be safe. So we got a clean station, sanitized, of course, sharp chef knife, not dull. We have all our mise en place, which is everything in front of us, ready to go. And I'll go ahead and give you a little tour. Okay, there's the sous vide machine. And then we have my cutlery. On this side, I'm not sure if you guys can see. Of course, we have it's cast iron everything today. One of my favorite items to use. My piece of equipment that I have at home that I use whenever I'm grilling outside, I have to use cast iron. That's fun. Okay, have our mise en place over here ready to go. Okay, and I started this prep like a month ago. No, I'm just kidding, but I have been excited since to do this for you. And I don't know if you guys recall whoever was on that little virtual tour we did when I was in the commissary, and I did talk to you guys briefly about something that I do at my house, utilizing the sous vide machine. This is it. This is the time, and I can't wait to start. So I'm going to stop talking about, we're going to get into it. All right, let's go ahead, guys. First thing we're going to do, one of my favorite side dishes, and this is all side dishes right here. We're going to do Lyonnaise potatoes. Again, this is something, because we're in summertime, you want to go ahead, bring the family out, hang out outside. Get the kids to work. I'm just kidding. But all this can be done on a grill. So rusted, we're going to go ahead and we're still going to keep that, utilize that for a different application later on, a different day, of course. But I will submerge that, or have that submerged in a lemon water, okay, or any kind of acidic water, vinegar, and that's just to prevent it from browning. Okay, you don't want it to oxidize. So as far as the size I wish you guys could smell it in here. I don't know if you guys took a glimpse of the potatoes. I'm sorry, the tomatoes. Oh yeah. So while I'm waiting, this wasn't actually part of the objectives. I just started it. I did it like as of 10 minutes ago because we have steak. Anything we basically in my household we gotta have salsa, right? So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm not utilizing an oven. I just have it on my my cast iron. All right. Let's go ahead and get these going. I did have these turned on beforehand. Cast iron, one of my favorite, like I said, pieces of equipment to use. Great heat transfer. It's going to hold that. You can get it, I mean, like I said, you can turn it on an hour ago, nice and hot, and then basically an hour later, or half an hour later, it's still going to be nice and hot. Yeah, we're still hot. Olive oil. This is actually a blend that we use. Now, as far as the thickness, guys, you might want to go a little bit thinner if you're hungry or you're hangry, or like some of us. If you have time, you want to focus on presentation. You maybe just want to give one plank of potato to somebody. Then go a little bit thicker. Yes, you can finish it. You can finish it on the grill. Close the dome. You're good to go. Okay.
Chef, they want to. Oh, sorry, Chef. You have a question. They want to know what's in your blend.
In my what?
In your blend.
Oh, the blended oil. It's actually a 25% extra virgin. I thought it was 90-10. We ordered it. It depends. Because we have different vendors, so if it's with Cisco, Shamrock, Betty Keith, they might send us a 90-10. This one actually is a 25-75. So 75% canola oil and 25% extra virgin, and that's how they sell it to us. So it's a little bit cheaper than buying extra virgin olive oil, which 100% first cold press. That's what you want. We use that for special occasions, So if we're cooking for the president, the vice president. But it's still going to be great because we're focusing on culinary basics, and that's what makes a dish, in my opinion, fantastic. It doesn't really matter what you use. Yes, fresh ingredients is the way to go. But you don't have to buy high-end product to make something to wow people. Yeah. All right, potatoes are going. We're going to get a nice little golden brown color on them. You don't have to pay too much attention to them. Just make sure the heat is nice and medium low. If you guys do have questions, please send them on a text, on the message, chat, or chime in, whatever the case may be. I'm happy to answer. So we got our potatoes going. The next thing we're going to do, some sauteed mushrooms. Who doesn't like sauteed mushrooms? And we're going to finish it off with some brandy. Yes. Now this is for the adults to do, not the kids, because we are dealing with fire. If you guys are wondering too, and this is because of the healthy cooking class, I'm used to not using butter. For the demo, yes, at home, yes, lots of butter. I got you. Or else my wife will be like, this tastes different. But anyway, olive oils, you can add butter right now. I just tend to hold off. I kind of use it as a finishing sauce, okay? Good thing with adding the olive oil with the butter, it prevents the butter from burning itself unless you use clarified butter. But it's really your choice. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. A little bit of oil. We got about 6 pounds of butter right here. I'm just kidding. We're not going to throw it all in. Mushrooms do need butter, bottom line. These mushrooms, bud mushrooms, were cut in half. Okay? Do not submerge your mushrooms in water. I get that question a lot. Pretty sure somebody wanted to go ahead and send a message. Good to know. Yes. Mushrooms, as you can see, all the oil pretty much, it looks like all your fat is gone. Those mushrooms are like a sponge. They're going to soak up all that, whatever's around, any kind of liquid, especially fat. But eventually, go slow and low, like baking, it's going to render back up. Okay? I always check for, I smell a lot. I don't smell, but I take whiffs of what I'm cooking for one, because you don't want to burn anything, you know? Also have Chef Lugo back here. He's not going to be. All right. Let me get some tongs. Check my potatoes. Look at that. Golden brown, GBD. Golden brown and delicious. Remember, Chef Guerra, that's the one thing he taught me. Out of everything he taught me, that's what I remember. And that's it. All right, guys, so because of the thickness, because they're already brown, the other side's going to take roughly like 2 minutes. I would say 3 minutes. If I kept the same temperature going. So what I'm going to do is drop that heat. That residual heat is going to go ahead and continue. Guys, I can leave it off like I told you. The heat transfer on cast irons are incredible. I can turn it off and it'll basically finish. Now, how much time we have? We're at 11 minutes in. Okay. We'll go ahead and slow that down. What I'm going to do here, again, nothing's burning. I'm going to add a little bit more oil to this, just a little bit. Not add too much oil, and you will have an oily product. Okay. Going back to the potatoes themselves, I got a shallot, smaller, a little bit sweeter. It's like your culinary onion, if you will. My favorite to use. Okay. Cut off the ends already. All I'm going to do is slice them like if I'm making fajitas. Of course, when you're cutting, if you guys don't practice the basics that we show after safety and sanitation, of course, if they pass that class, you want to go ahead and get into your Chef 1301, which basically that you're going to show them how to cut. And it's curling your fingers. Okay? You don't have to dig into your ingredients. You just have to probe. How can a chef cut without looking at what he's cutting? Right? We go ahead and keep the blade itself below our knuckle. That's how we can cut. If we go above, chances are our knuckle's going to fall in, and we're going to come back down and chop our knuckle. And it's the end of the demo. We don't want that. I wasn't going to put onions in these, but I said, what the heck? About having fun, and that's what we're doing right now. So one more stick of butter. And that's a small little portion. That's why I cut them into little chunks. Okay, guys? So you're not having, well, I'm going to have to throw in a whole big piece. No, that's why I cut them smaller, so we can go ahead and add them as needed. You want these to brown? Guys, I don't mind sauteed mushrooms that don't have color in them as long as there's some flavor. But sauteed mushrooms is just that. Saute means to jump. Hot pan, cold oil, boom, boom, boom. You're caramelized. You're getting that Maillard reaction. You know, you want everything. You want that caramelized without adding sugar to come out, just like bread. It caramelizes on the outside with browns. That's the Maillard reaction. All right, to the mushrooms, we're gonna go ahead and add garlic. Okay, take off the root end. You don't want that in there. Now, pay attention closely. Can you guys, can you see the board? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna show you how to mince. There, man. Just my own opinion, not being negative, but I don't like minced garlic that you buy at the store. I'm just not a fan of it. Nothing against the company or nothing. I just don't like it. So buy fresh garlic or buy it in a tube that's already pureed. That's something I would recommend. Back of the knife, I'm not popping it, okay? Chances are you might cut yourself. I'm just pressing down. Okay? That's the camera. Okay. Well, it's because I have like this little picture to look at. So we're starting the process right there. We're gonna go ahead and chop it quickly. Now, after we started the process, we get our salt to help release some of that flavor, to release those oils. Now, here's the fun part. Side of the knife, parallel with the actual board itself. We're gonna go ahead. All I'm gonna do is you're making a paste. Okay, I'm not applying much pressure, guys. The knife, I mean, obviously the knife always does the work, but in this case, because we're not using the blade itself, just picking it up at a small degree, so you guys can see how it's pasting on the bottom. If some pieces are larger than others, go ahead and boom, 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 give it a little chop, and then go back to and that's it. We have a little bit of small chunks in there. If you guys want to go a little bit further, by all means, have fun with it. But yes, that's your homework. You need to buy 5 pounds of garlic, cloves, and go ahead and coach yourself. And yes, send my EPL 72 at EPCC. Let's see pictures. I'm kidding. I always say that nobody ever sends me anything, so it's okay. All right, let me get this white real quick. All right, let me switch on my gloves. If I was at home, I wouldn't switch my gloves because I love the garlic. I love garlic in general, so it gets on all appliances, and I don't mind. So it's because it's my house. But here, I gotta switch that. All right, we're doing good on time. Are you guys getting hungry? Because I am. And you guys are gonna hate me when I try the steak. Yeah. That's it.
Let's talk about Visa Plus. Let's talk about Visa Plus.
Oh, God, that aroma is intoxicating. Whew. Guys, if you notice, the heats are still, flames are up. Okay, it's still cooking. Oh yeah, nice and golden. You can obviously do these onions ahead of time if you want. If you're making salsa on this side, do a little bit extra onions, and then just cut them up, throw them in here. Different ways of speeding up the process. When you're having fun and you're at home, I have a glass of iced tea in one hand, some kind of beverage, and then my utensil on the other hand. The one thing we're going to add to this, and today's going to be the first time I've actually done it, to make it somewhat kind of like a gratin. We're going to add cheese. I usually put monster cheese, asadero, something like that. I have it. But in this case, for today, we're going to put blue cheese. Blue cheese and steak go together like, oh my God. Babies and pacifiers, yes. Chef Nickerson thought I was going to say something. Babies and pacifiers. You should make shirts on. All right. What I'm going to do here, guys, I'm going to go ahead because I'm super excited. I'm going to flambe it. I'm going to transfer it to here and then use this delicious goodness, all the flavor on the bottom, the fond, as we call it. I'm going to use that to cook the asparagus. Now, let's talk about real quick, when you're doing a flambe, you need to be careful, guys. Number one rule that I told my students in the past. Out of the pan, higher the flame. What does that mean? If you have it turned on, you're sauteing, it's scorching hot. You come over here, you throw on your alcohol with a high ABV, of course, alcohol, the volume, alcoholic volume. You're gonna have a high flame. If you want to reduce it, take the pan off. You have to take it off regardless. The longer you leave it off, the cooler it's going to be, the lower the flame. Right? Here we go.
Chef, what's the purpose of flambeing as opposed to just sauteing it with?
The purpose of flambeing, you're adding liquid. You're adding liquid to deglaze the bottom, the fond area. All those yum-yums on the bottom, you want to release. Instead of scraping it, that's why we add some kind of liquid. If you have nothing at all, of course, water is something you can put. But we won't talk about that. That W word is bad because that water has no flavor. So you can add chicken stock, you can add wine, you can add apple juice, anything that has flavor. In this case, we're just adding the alcohol because of the, I mean, it's delicious flavor. Once the alcohol evaporates, once it reduces, it's incredible, guys. Okay. The second one was for me because the aroma is intoxicating. Okay. What you can do here, you can multi-burn, which is basically finishing it off the heat, cold butter, and make a sauce. It's wherever we don't have as much sauce going in. Okay, so that's when we would add butter to it. But we have a steak that's delicious, fatty, beautiful marbling. That's all the fat I need. So we're gonna go ahead. They came out with a cologne called Sauteed Mushrooms. Imagine Lay's is doing nothing but chips, and it's driving me crazy. Yes, you can come up with all these different concoctions and, you know, come out with a cologne. That'll really, you know, wow me. Anyway, I love you, Lay's. All right, we still have delicious flavor in here, guys. I'm not washing it. All I'm doing those little garlic pieces that will burn. Do not burn garlic. It is a sin. If you do burn it, start all over. Sit down, think about what you did, and learn from your mistakes. Do not burn garlic. Those are still delicious pieces. I just took them off, like I said. I don't want them to on here as I do my asparagus. Guys, I'm telling you, you see how these onions are breaking down? And I still don't have any heat. All I have is a pilot. I have time to get this done. Look at the onions, for example, look at your, one of the classic French soups, French onion. Typical French onion soup, to make it authentic, takes about 4 hours. Well, Chef Diaz, it's only soup. Yes, the main ingredient is onion, to reduce those, to let that natural sugars come out and caramelize the way they should. Oh God, I would seriously eat that or drink that right now on the way home in this hot weather. That's just that's how delicious French onion soup is. It's done right. All right, so those are going. Let's jump into let's do the tomatoes. All right, so we got our mushrooms. Those are almost done. We're just gonna put blue cheese. I'm not adding the cheese yet because I'm flipping them in case one side gets too dark. If you had a molcajete at home, guys, mortar and pestle, you can go ahead and, at this point, you can start mashing them. Make your salsa, throw it in a blender, chop it up, whatever you want to do.
125.
125. Awesome. Now, as you can see, I don't have space, and yes, I did this on purpose. But I was going to show you guys this. Cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes, whatever you want to use. Okay, beautiful blend, colorful. What's the way? Kind of already showed you what I'm about to ask you. But how do you maximize flavor? Someone like this, it's not, I mean, yeah, it's delicious. It's a tomato. Add salt, chef. Well, yeah. Again, going back to the market reaction, I want to caramelize these. We don't have room up here. Again, talking about the grill. You guys can do all this stuff on the grill. Maybe you won't have room. What do we do in this case? We torch them. You guys might not have one of these. I know, Bed Bath & Beyond, are they the ones that closed down? No.
World Market.
World Market. So Bed Bath & Beyond, you can buy yourself a creme brulee torch. You can go to Home Depot. You can ask for a torch. Like you might have a handle like a top piece like this that you can buy. They have different colors, and I'm not lying, guys. You can use what they have at Home Depot. Just get the blue one, the red and the orange ones. Those are more for like your commercial work, your soldering, stuff like that. So, anyways, don't let this scare you off, guys. This is something you can do. It's fast. It's easy. I do it all the time. Let's torch. They're screaming joy. They're not crying. Can you hear them? Oh, they're open. Does the torch affect the flavor? No. I'm going to explain to you in a little bit why I'm doing this. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me.
Hey, Chef, when do you know your tomatoes are ready?
How do you know when they're done?
Yes, I'll talk about that right now. All right, great question. So why did I do this? For one, like I said, we didn't have space. Number two, you can do it on a cast iron if you like. What am I talking about? The texture. If you did this in the oven on a broiler, you did it at the highest temperature that your oven allows, you would not be able to execute this. You would not be able to execute a charred tomato and keep the same texture. If you want it mushy, you're making a marinara sauce, by all means, throw it in the oven, high temperature, throw it in cast iron. I'm just familiar. I just love using a torch, guys. Because like I said, you keep the texture. You add some color to it, you add some flavor, but you're still controlling the consistency, the texture of the consistency. Okay, and that's why. And how do I know when it's done? You're just looking at. These are my babies. Oh, see, we got a little more color there, but we're still good. It's gonna start to peel. So this is basically what you want. You don't have to char the whole thing. If you ever roasted red peppers, there you would have to char the whole thing. But here, it's to your liking, guys. We're still gonna cook it. I'm gonna throw it in the asparagus. Once the asparagus is done, I'm gonna throw it together, make it one happy family, let it marry, as we say as culinarians. And that's it. Like I said, you can still go a little bit longer if you'd like, but I'm gonna go ahead and let them rest. I'm not even throwing my here. There you go. How we look? Awesome. Okay. Are we enjoying ourselves? We're having a good time? Are we anxious for me to hurry up so I can try a piece? That's it. We are ready to eat. Awesome. Okay.
They're intimidated, Chef.
We always want to salt everything. So now I'm adding a little bit of salt to that. I think I already salted the mushrooms, but add a little bit more. That is a kosher salt, black pepper, cracked black pepper blend that I have. You can use white pepper if you like. You can separate them. I do a mix of like 3 to 1, and that's kosher salt and black pepper. So that's what I normally use. Like, Ooh, so excited. Another thing you can add. I brought some fresh thyme. So delicious. All right, so here's what happened. I want to show you guys now. Well, yeah, let me go ahead and show you guys now so you can see why we almost have to cancel the demo today. I'm just kidding, we weren't going to cancel it. But this 4.5 pound bone-in ribeye for our cast iron. So the purpose of me bringing thyme, which we're going to do on the, we got it covered. But I brought thyme in so I can show you a different way of cooking the steak, utilizing fresh garlic and just basting it with some unsalted butter. But we're not going to do that because of how shallow the edges are on the flat top over here. Oh dear God. We did have shallots, garlic, jalapenos that were placed in sous vide with olive oil, and that was just to preserve them. And that's the first time I ever did this. I did the same thing at home with the onions they weren't going bad. They were just, I wanted to prolong the shelf life. So that's what I did at home. And it was just incredible. Like, you don't have to get all these crazy expensive, ingredients, different rubs. All we're putting on here, there's no seasoning. I'm going to put salt, pepper, and that's it. Whew. And even this stuff in it, all the garlic, jalapenos, you could still throw that in a blender if you'd like. You want to put in your salsa. So going back to the thyme, I'm going to go ahead and pop it in with to flavor our potato planks a little bit. Okay, nothing wrong there. Add a little bit more oil. Let that, you want to use an oil fat, and just coat those potatoes. I'm going to leave it like that. It has enough fat in there. I'm just heating it up a little bit. And that's it.
Jeff, how would you store your veggies when they're preserved?
How would I store veggies when they're preserved? Buy a crab vac machine, like the one we have that I used here. I would crab vac them, but it depends what veggies you're talking about. Not all veggies. I wouldn't. If you buy veggies, I would use them. I wouldn't really, you know, there's different ways of preserving them. You can, like zucchini, you can shred it down and put that into a cryovac machine bag and just cryovac it. And that's what we did. That's what we do here. Onions, like there's different ways of breaking them down. You just need to, you know, look them up just to make sure. For one, because when vegetables, let's say a whole zucchini gets thrown in the freezer, you bring it out, it's going to be mush. So that's why there's different ways of that we teach students, you know, how to preserve, you know, like keeping your time, and you know, we just roll it up. I put a Ziploc bag that I didn't close, leave it in the fridge, or you can put it in a deli cup without the paper. Just let them sit. Put some water about an inch up. Yeah. All right, guys. Oh God, I can't wait. So, what do you guys think? Well, I told you it was petite, right? Oh man, I'm so happy right now. A little bit of salt goes a long way. And I know this looks weird at first, right? It's cooked inside to 130 degrees. What we're doing here is we're doing a reverse sear, okay? So if you're talking about doing a pot roast, for example, you want to sear your product first, even prime rib, which is ribeye. You want to sear it first. Prime rib gets thrown in the oven. No liquid is added. Pot roast, on the other hand, you sear it, you add some kind of liquid along with aromatics, so celery, onion, carrots, tomato paste to help break down those connective tissues. I think we're good. All right. I need to talk to the bone and ribeye and see what's going on. How are you doing? Good? Feels like I'm like neglecting you. All right, there we go. What was I saying? Pot roast. So you would sear it, you would add liquid, you would braise it. In this case, we actually started the cooking process because searing technically doesn't cook your product itself. It just adds that delicious brown goodness that you're looking for, that Maillard reaction that I was talking about earlier. And with this, guys, this is a way to, you know, I honestly wanted to thought of different ideas, you know, like imagine somebody did a food truck like this. You have nothing but bone and ribeyes across the board. Once you see how I prepare it, this was the easy part. Putting it inside a bag, adding your stuff, cryovacuuming it, letting it cook for about 2-3 hours. This went for 4 hours. It doesn't matter. You can go 10 hours. It's at 130 degrees. And I'm going to get to the sous vide part explanation. But once you see how I do this, guys, just sear it. It's ready. It's done. You're not having to use a thermometer. No, because it's already 130 degrees. And that's exactly what a sous vide machine does. Okay? It's a temperature controlled environment. You want eggs cooked at 160 degrees because that's when eggs are done. Put at 160 degrees and you're done. Make hard-boiled eggs. You can leave them there. They're not going to overcook. Don't think, well, there's overcooked, carryover, whatever you want to call it. No. That's something that you're cooking at 400 degrees, throwing a steak on the grill. It's going to carry over because you cooked it at 400 degrees. You get it with a baseball bat and it's still flying over. You know, go Yankees, by the way. 140? Cool. But you 130 degrees and that's it. It's done. Okay? You just have to cook it for the correct time. You got a smaller steak, you cook it for an hour. But I would give myself 2 hours. Easy, easy peasy. It doesn't get any easier than this. I'm going to explain why I chose to do this for you later on when I'm done. Before I start eating. All right. Let's go ahead, guys. I'm going to top the blue cheese. Now, I understand there's some falling off. It's all right. We're here having fun. We're going to go ahead and pick it up, scoop it up. Presentation, we do our planks, and then everything else just falls on top. All right, let me get this one out of the way. So, as you can see, I went ahead, it's still hot. I went ahead and inverted another cast iron, something that I learned in working in the industry. All you're doing is you're letting it steam inside so that cheese can melt. This is going to be for our asparagus. We got to get them out of the way for the main event.
Chef,
Yes.
when you're getting your ingredients for this event, which one should you splurge on? Which one would you spend the most money on? And which one would be like, you could buy like any asparagus or any cherry tomatoes? Or which item should you focus on if you're going to like, spend a chunk of your budget on one item?
The bone in your butt. I buy mine at Albertsons. It's obviously a choice. I'm not looking for something there, I don't need prime, which would be great, but for the price, $5.65 a pound. Let me explain that to you guys, because look at it this way: you go to a restaurant, you buy not even a pound, a 12-ounce steak, but in this case, we'll say, a pound worth of steak. How much are you spending? Someone go ahead and type in how much did you spend on the last steak that you bought at a restaurant. I can't see that.
$30.
$30. There you go. Well, you can have one for $5.65. I'll even call it a 2-pounder to compensate for the bone. Okay? And so this one here, technically 4.5 pounds times, we'll say $6. It's still what? $30? That'll be your $30 right now for this. I bet you didn't get that size. So the only bad thing that people don't like, let me go ahead and throw this on. It's because you got to buy it in bulk. You're going to spend about $100, but it's well worth it. Oh, okay, moment of silence. I don't know who's happier, Rick or me. Okay. So yes, I would definitely splurge on one of, you want to call it aspirate as a beef loin. Okay? It might be bone in, but guys, this is, if you ever have a prime rib, been to a restaurant and had prime rib or wanted to try it, if you haven't tried it, this is the reason why I started doing this at home. And it made so much sense. My mom wants to make prime rib, but she's scared. She doesn't want to use a large piece of loin. Even a half loin. Even something like this, double the size, they do sell them, but they're a little bit more expensive depending on where you go. I guarantee you guys, you'll never go to a restaurant and order a prime rib once you try this. Well, not this one because we're going to devour it, but if you try one at home. That's how excited I am about showing you guys this. Not so much tasting because I know what it tastes like. Just to show you guys what you guys can do. Buy yourself a loin, beef loin, cut it. You got bones, okay? Cut in between the bones, simple as that. Whatever size you want. Do the same thing. Get yourself a sous machine and have fun. But this is all you're doing. You're not doing much. You're talking with the family. You're sharing. One thing you don't want to do is leave this on for 10 minutes. So all we're doing is giving it a kiss of the sear, basically. That's all we're doing. Okay? Hot heat. Oh, okay, I can't wait. I should have waited, but I couldn't wait. I see. Yeah, I'm bad at Christmas. What can I tell you? Any reactions? Anybody like it? Awesome. Telling you, that's it. Like, you can roll it over because of how thick it is. Get some sear on the outside. You're still going to be at 130. And the reason why you do this, I mean, I still grill, guys. I don't always use the sous vide machine when it comes to steak, especially when they're thin. But the reason why you do it with something like this is because you'll be outside forever, flipping it. I know you guys have, we've all been there, right? Flipping the steak here and there, trying to execute that temperature that you're shooting for. This is 130 degrees. This alone at the raw stage on the grill, it's going to take you a while. Okay, this is the easy way of doing it. That gray matter, that's the cooked piece that you guys see me cut into a steak, that's what we're eliminating. And you'll see it when I cut it. All right, let's do our asparagus. We got some asparagus spears. It was either this or green beans, and I'm craving asparagus. So, man. Okay, I'm not gonna look. All right, let's see. All right. I can't wait. All right. I have a lot of pet peeves as a chef. Every chef does, right? Okay. When you cook asparagus, it usually comes out bland. Not you, I'm just saying when you go to a restaurant. Guys, asparagus is simple, easy. Going back to product, where do I buy it? It's just, I get everything at Albertsons. If not, I go to Walmart. But I mean, when it comes to produce, I tend to stick with Albertsons. Zest, more flavored than juice. You can still use juice. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're going to use some kind of citrus, put zest, please. Salt and pepper. Done. I mean, you just gotta wait on, again, your liking. Maybe you cook a little more, maybe you don't. Right there, they're done. And yes, I'll be honest with you, I didn't blanch these ahead of time. Meaning putting them in boiling water, taking them up, shocking them, putting them in an ice bath, cool them down. They are jumbo asparagus, but they're already cooked. And how do I know? Because I'm applying a little bit of pressure on them. If they feel slightly mushy, they're done. Leave them alone. Don't look at them, put them aside, focus back on the steak. Oh wait, I wasn't done with it. Throw your cherry tomatoes on. Don't look at them after that, leave them alone. Does that look delicious? What do you think? Much time is it?
How do you know when the sous vide steak, when it comes to the desired temperature? Like, how do you know that was 130 in the center when you took it out?
From experience, I'll show you. Well, I can't show you on my phone. So this one I have here, guys, is a Nova. I don't work for them. I'm not, telling you guys to go and buy that product, that's just what I use. I have no problem telling you guys that because you might be curious, well, which sous vide machine do you recommend? Well, that's the one I recommend. Messing with this a long time ago, they have an app that you can use, and obviously I can cook steak. I can cook anything from here that's cooking at the house because it's working off the Wi-Fi. They have different recommendations, recipes, and they tell you how long to cook them. And basically, something this half, a steak like this, and cut in half. So basically, 2-pound steak will go about an hour. So I just doubled it up, did 2 hours. I should have, but I went 4 hours because I would have probably forgot. So I started it, when I got here. And yeah, the rest is history. It's just, all right, great questions, guys. I can't wait to get into it. Bring it up.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Cool. Awesome. Any more questions, guys? Anybody?
No, this is just the thing.
They're waiting for me to cut it.
They are.
All right. Presentation is everything. We're gonna. So, let's go ahead while I steak. I thought we need to let it rest, but while it's chilling out for a little bit. I mean, I told you everything's cast iron, right? So we're gonna keep everything on a cast iron. Sorry, guys, I left you off. We got our sauteed mushrooms. All right, I tasted the mushrooms, make sure they're good. I don't have any room for my steak. All right, mushrooms will go on top. There you go. And then, of course, we're going to make a salsa with that later. Now, here for the moment of truth. Oh, dear God. So, many ways you can attempt this, guys. This is the bone I'm talking about. You've probably seen it at the store, your beef bone, as they call it. Depending on how it was cut, and you probably see it for like $10. Well, you're looking at about 30% yield, edible portion off of those beef ribs. Okay, that's not much, right? So technically you're spending a lot more than what you think you're spending. Unless you cut it yourself. So if you buy one of these bad boys, guys, 8diaz72@epcc.edu. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. This excites me. You guys have questions on, what did you say again? What was it? I know it's recorded. Please. So this is an example, and then why I'm cutting it like this. When you have your full loin, this is how you're going to cut it. Okay, so then now you're going to see what I'm talking about. The beef ribs. Look at this. Look, oh, God, sorry. If you want to cook it a little bit longer, you can braise it. This is all edible, guys. I know some people might think it's, raw, medium rare. Okay? Yeah. Oh. I mean, you have to put the bone on here, right? part of presentation. Sorry, Mom, you're gonna have to stay up a little bit. This is the beef lip, the rib lip that's on the bottom. So usually you see steaks like this, ribeyes. This has a lot of fat. So again, yeah, they're kind of getting rid of it. I don't care. As long as it's choice, you know, looking at the marbling, you're looking at delicious flavor. I'm happy. I'm pretty sure you've seen this right before, where people will cut it, make a burger, and they open it up. So as you can see, also, yes, this is the part that I'm talking about. This was I'm not going to call it a mistake. I left it on there for a reason to show you. This is what you can eliminate by not searing it for so long. Hotter heat is the way to go, okay? But there's nothing wrong with this. It's still beautiful inside, okay?
So how long you should be letting it rest for? You want to talk about that?
I went about, you can go about 5 minutes. So remember, guys, this wasn't, like I told you earlier, that like we're not cooking this at 400 degrees. That's when you want to let something rest, okay? It is, it's at a temperature controlled environment, 130 degrees. You're not gonna get carryover, okay? Because you stop at 130. You're cooking a steak, you want it from the very get-go on a grill at 400 degrees, 500 degrees, and you're trying to reach 130. Boom, you hit it, or you might hit 125. You're gonna have carryover because that amount of heat that was incorporated, that 500 degree heat, that's why you get carryover. This is 130, no mas, no more. That's it. Okay, but yes, I just let it sit for 5 minutes just because, I mean, I need to control myself. So that's why, you know, it's good. It's good therapy. Jesus. The aroma. Yes, there is a lot of fat that you'll see. No big deal. Okay, Chef, you ready?
Yeah.
I hate, you know, this is the worst part, right? Like, I hate it because I feel bad for you guys, but, you know, I'll try not to make any kind of face. Cheers. I mean, you know, it was all right, but I'm kidding. Guys, I'm telling you, you want to wow your family? Yeah. Whenever my cousins over call, ask if I can make brisket, beans and rice, for example, for you know, my godson's party. I'm like, no, I'll do this. Give me, you know, I'll give you the receipt. But yes, this is your presentation. Okay, what do you guys think? Be honest.
It looks great.
Awesome. Any comments? Do you want me to try another piece? Because I will. I mean, I'll do that for you guys.
Thank you, Chef. Oh my goodness, that looks phenomenal. Oh my goodness, we're all hungry over here, aren't we? Wow. Wow, is that the blue cheese on top too? Oh man, absolutely delicious.
Thank you. Any questions, guys? How much time we have?
None.
None? Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you. So if you're here and you would like to have the Tejano passport code, it will be in the chat for you guys. Comments are saying that they need lunch now and everything looks so great. We would like to thank you very much for presenting for us today. We greatly appreciate it. It's always a good time. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And enjoy your weekend. Next week, we're going to have Meet the Foundation come in at 1 p.m., so be sure to come check us out. Thank you, and we'll be here for a while in case you have any questions for Chef Diaz.